Hey everybody, Jeff Wilson here with Front Point Mortgage. Wanted to bring you a market update. We want to all know where interest rates are going, right? That's the big indicator in today's market, where we're at, where we're going, how things are going to look interest rate wise. So I have an update for you. Inflation is what drives mortgage rates, and we're finally seeing an improvement. Isn't that a wonderful thing to hear? So let's talk about how that's happening. Let's talk about Consumer Price Index, or what we call CPI. This is a weighted average of what we pay for things like groceries, utilities, etc., essentially the things that every normal household in America buys on a regular basis. Now, I'm going to do a video on CPI later this month or in the next couple of weeks so that you can get an idea of what CPI really looks like, because I think it's important that we all monitor CPI on a regular basis to see where our economy is going and what the price of things that we're going to buy on a regular basis is headed as well. All right, now, so you have a basic understanding of what CPI is. Let's talk about headline CPI, which is not adjusted for seasonality. Things like Christmas, hiring, etc. That number went from 6% down to 5%, which is even more aggressive than we expected. At one point in time, the headline CPI was actually at 9%. So we're seeing overall significant improvement in there, which is a big reason why we've seen some interest rates drop over the last couple of months. That on the Silicon Valley issue, that helped kind of push things in a direction faster than I think it would have naturally. So now what we're looking at is how a correction that maybe had taken a little bit more time has now happened quicker, and I think it's behind us. So now let's talk about U.S. core inflation rate. This is the number I prefer to look at because it excludes things like food and energy. It gets those sectors out, and you know what? While we're trying to predict the future, we can't be bothered with those sectors. So let's move that out and let's talk about everything else, and that's the U.S. core inflation rate. Keep in mind, as an economy, we want to see this number somewhere in the high 3s or low 4% range. That's what we saw prior to COVID. Since COVID, those numbers have been very, very high. Right now, our numbers are at 5.5% in February, now 5.6% in March. So it's higher in March than it was in February. That doesn't sound good, and it's not good. It looks like we're going in the wrong direction. But here, this is why you have me. This is why I'm here to explain this to you. Within that report is where you're going to get the gold. In that report, you're going to see that the year-over-year shelter numbers were higher the month before. Now they're lower, and they're the lowest that they've been in a while, and we're finally starting to see that number come down for the first time in the past year or so. So we're talking shelter numbers within that report that are showing that we're headed in the right direction for a better home and rate market. Okay, so what does all of this mean? Why am I talking about this? Well, because we all want to know where lower interest rates are coming. I can tell you when that's going to happen. I know the future. Maybe, hopefully, possibly. I want you to take out your calendars and I want you to circle the May 10th date on that calendar. We're going to see lower rates starting that day. That's when the next set of inflation numbers come out, and mark my words, rates will start moving lower from there. How low? How quickly? That I don't know. We expect to see rates in the 5s, maybe low 5s, maybe high 4s, but we don't know if that's going to happen in a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, not sure. Honestly, I hope it's a sprint and not a marathon, but we're going to have to wait and see. Hey, we're already starting to see improvements. Mortgage applications are 1.3% higher this week than they were a year ago. Total overall for the month, 5.3% better. Purchases plus 8%, which is still negative 31% year over year, but hey, it's better than it was last month. Refinances actually went up for the first time in quite a while, so that's a good number. 57% lower than year over year, which is better than 83% lower year over year, which is what we were seeing a while ago. So numbers are getting better. They're going to keep getting better. And tune in for more information from me as the next couple of weeks go by, next couple of months go by. I'm going to be here to help you guide you through this crazy market and how it's going to go through an adjustment right before our eyes. So we're seeing those improvements. May 10th, even more improvements. I'm excited about bringing this information to you. I'll make these videos shorter as we move forward, but I needed to get this out to you now so that you knew what I was talking about over the series in the next 6 to 8 weeks. Thank you so much for listening. Please call us if you need anything. We are here to help. Again, this is Jeff Wilson with Front Point Mortgage, where we are always upfront and to the point.